step a little bit closer to the dystopia George Orwell wrote about in his book 1984. It just feels like we don't have any privacy at this point, and maybe I'm the crazy one to think we ever had any privacy in the first place, because I know just how intrusive technology really is. Well, if you didn't know, and if you needed another reason to hate Meta, apparently their glasses are spying on people, and during some of their most intimate moments too. An article from Apple Insider claims Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses are a privacy nightmare, with footage of naked people, sensitive information, and violent acts captured and seen by Meta's AI and an army of employees. A different article from BBC quotes a worker saying, "We see everything, from living rooms to naked bodies." BBC also reported that Meta said it takes the protection of people's data very seriously, and the data is first filtered to protect people's privacy. I'm not entirely sure how that protects people's privacy if the data is seen and filtered by other people, but Meta claims this is all in the name of improving people's experience with the glasses. A worker even mentioned a man's glasses were left recording in a bedroom, where they later filmed a woman, apparently the man's wife, undressing. We're all aware technology spies on us. Anything with a camera, internet connection, and a microphone is capable of spying. And AI does make things worse because governments want to use AI for mass surveillance. It really does feel like AI is the newest weapon to make our lives that much worse. And I'm not surprised that Meta is behind another controversy. They really are in the running for the Worst Company Ever award. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thanks for stopping by. See you later.
All right, folks. We are back here on WLTH 1370M. That is 92.7 in the FM dial. If you're nasty, it is 6:44 in the PM here on March the 13th, 2026. The future is here. The future is now. And the future ain't looking so good, folks. It is not. So it might be time. It might be time for our reoccurring segment, Yikes! Yes, yikes. The segment that reminds you that if you're not absolutely terrified, you're probably not paying good enough attention. Well, folks, it's official. We're in the dystopia described in all of your favorite sci-fi novels, movies, and TV shows. AI is replacing workers, destroying your air and water, and now it's watching you pee-pee and boo-boo. And also, while you do the nasty. That's right. Thanks to our friends over at the BBC for this article. A UK data watchdog is writing to Meta following a concerning report claiming outsourced workers were able to view sensitive content filmed by the company's AI smart glasses. Meta said subcontracted workers might sometimes review content, listen now, including films and images captured by its AI smart glasses for the purpose of improving the experience. Yes. So videos including of glasses wearers using the toilet or having sex are sometimes reviewed by a Kenya-based Meta subcontractor, according to an investigation by Swedish newspapers Svenska Dagbladet and Göteborgs Posten. Yeah, we'll just go with that. They said, "We see everything, from living rooms to naked bodies." That's what one of the workers said. Meta has said that it's taken the protection of people's data very seriously and was constantly refining its efforts of tools in that area. So where we're at now is you have these glasses that you can put on, made by Meta, that are supposed to help you interact with the world and be able to stay online while you're walking around and just living your life. That footage that you're uploading by wearing these glasses and just walking around is being reviewed by subcontractors in Kenya. So if you mistakenly keep the glasses on while you're peeing or while you're using the bathroom in some other way, or if you're, naked, there might be somebody in Kenya watching you, observing you. Here we go. These Ray-Ban Meta glasses help you use AI hands-free to answer questions about the world around you, the tech giant told BBC News. When people share content with Meta AI, like other companies, we sometimes use contractors to review this data to improve people's experience with the glasses. As stated in our privacy policy, it added, which is always the killer because they know nobody reads the privacy policy. They make the privacy policy on all of these products long and boring and tedious so that you just go, okay, let's just press accept. Because they know people aren't reading the privacy policy. So here we go. The data is first filtered to protect people's privacy. According to Meta, filtering could include blurring faces and images, but sources who spoke to SVD and GP said sometimes this failed and people's faces could be seen. Users have to activate. You have to activate recording manually or through voice command, but may not realize that their videos and images are sometimes reviewed by humans, as described within Meta's extensive privacy policies and terms of service. Again, nobody reads privacy policy because they're long and tedious, and it's usually small print, really small print. Like they make sure that, and you ever know that they're always really crunched up with very few paragraphs. It's just one long privacy policy. That's why they got you conditioned to just saying, screw this, I'll just click OK. In response to a request from BBC, Meta provided a link to its supplemental Meta platform's terms of service, but it did not identify which segments of those terms covered the review of content by human contractors. They didn't think they'd read it either, apparently. Meta's UK AI terms of service, in the terms of service, the company says that in some cases, Meta will review your interactions with AI. And this review may be automated or manual, meaning human. Meaning somebody is going to be viewing the footage that you are uploading. Like I said, it could be anything. You could just be living your life and somebody in Kenya is actually watching whatever it is you're doing. But the UK's data watchdog, the Information Commissioner's Office, told BBC News devices processing data, including smart glasses, should put users in control and provide for appropriate transparency. Service providers must clearly explain what data is collected and how it is going to be used, it said in a statement. The claims in this article are concerning. We will be writing to Meta to request information on how it is meeting its obligations under UK data protection law. Now, mind you, this isn't happening here in America because, as we talked about in the last segment, the Trump administration is the most openly corrupt administration in American history. I'm not saying they're the most corrupt, but they're the most openly and brazenly corrupt administration. Trump has basically said, yeah, I'm corrupt. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Were Bush and Cheney and the Bidens and all these people corrupt? Sure they were. But they were not openly and brazenly corrupt like this. And so you saw Mark Zuckerberg, who runs Meta, which is Facebook's parent company, it used to be called Facebook. Now it's called Meta. That's the umbrella company. He was at Donald Trump's inauguration. Now, why is that important? It's important because a decade earlier, in 2016, Facebook was all in for Hillary Clinton. Virtually everybody in Silicon Valley was pro Hillary Clinton. A study showed that 80% or 85% of the people in Silicon Valley supported Hillary Clinton when Donald Trump first ran. So why has Mark Zuckerberg all of a sudden switched from Clinton and the Democrats to Trump? Well, this is why. This is why. All of the oligarchs, the tech oligarchs, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Larry Ellison, Elon Musk, they have all said, look, you can just out and out bribe Donald Trump. You can out and out buy Donald Trump. And in public, not even old fashioned where you have to pretend that it's just a political donation. No, they're literally helping to build a ballroom for him. The Qataris, I believe it was, who just gave him a plane. Like, you can openly just give Donald Trump stuff, and he'll take it. And he'll base real policy on the fact that you just gave him something and took it. And so that's why this is important. This is why you have to go to a place like the BBC and foreign, and which I always recommend. I always tell you guys, get away from the corporate media here in this country, because it's all, now it's even more owned by so few people in this day and age, where, you know, Larry Ellison, I think, just bought I believe, Paramount. He just bought Paramount. Let me see what media he owns now. He owns an incredible amount of the media at this point. Right. One family, the right-wing Ellison family, some of the biggest Zionist, Israel-supporting people in the country, they will soon control TikTok, which is what all of your children and grandchildren are using to get their news and stay in touch with their friends. CBS, CNN, HBO, the Discovery Channel, BET, the Cartoon Network, Comedy Central, DC Studios, yes, Batman. They will soon control Batman as well. Fandango, Miramax, MTV, Nickelodeon, Paramount, Pluto TV, Showtime, TBS, the CW, TNT, and Warner Brothers. That is what oligarchy looks like. This is what Bernie Sanders just said. This is what oligarchy looks like. So this is why you have to go to places like the BBC to get these types of stories. Or you have to go to independent media, like us, like me, or others. Maybe Breaking Points or Jimmy Dore or other people, Sabby Sabs, Glenn Greenwald. There's some good independent journalists out there. Kim Iverson. Whitney Webb is really great at a lot of this stuff. I play a lot of her clips on this show. But this is why. This is why. Man, this is incredible. This right here is incredible. The workers, the Swedish papers spoke to, were data annotators, teaching Meta's AI to interpret images by manually labeling content. They were employed by a Nairobi-based outsourcing company called Sama, which has a history of work in data annotation. The workers said that they also reviewed transcripts of interactions with the AI to check if it had answered questions adequately. They describe privacy protections in their workplace with cameras everywhere and no mobile phones permitted. But the content they said they saw was often extremely sensitive, they said, including glasses wearers watching pornography. In one instance, a worker told the newspaper a man's glasses were left recording in a bedroom where they later filmed a woman, apparently the man's wife, undressing. So in this instance, this dude had the glasses on. He takes the glasses off and puts them down in his bedroom, you know, as people tend to take their glasses off when they're in their bedroom or just chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. The man's wife, she walks in the room, she's undressing or whatever, getting dressed or whatever, and the glasses capture this. Meta's glasses have a light in the corner of the frame that is turned on when the built-in camera is recording images or videos. The firm warns against misuse of tech, advising users to show others when the recording light is on and avoid recording in such spaces. I mean, this is incredible. An independent journalist that I've become a really big fan of, his name is James Lee. Lee, L-I, because he's Chinese, I believe. And he actually did a story on this and showed something very, very scary. I'm going to describe it to you after this.
Is your address 4 Valley?
Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg has just added facial recognition to its smart glasses and hopes the public is too distracted by political turmoil to care. With an internal memo reading, quote, "We will launch during a dynamic political environment where many civil society groups that we would expect to attack us would have their resources focused on other concerns."
To use it, you just put the glasses on, then as you walk by people, the glasses will detect when somebody's face is in frame. This photo is used to analyze them, and after a few seconds, their personal information pops up on your phone.
Cambridge Community Foundation. Oh, hi, ma'am. Wait, are you Betsy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think I met you through like the Cambridge Community Foundation, right? Yeah.
And not only are they identifying people through the glasses, if you're one of the people wearing the glasses, you are being watched as well. Quote, "The investigation found that much of the footage captured by Meta's smart glasses, of which more than 7 million pairs have reportedly been sold, is being reviewed by contract workers at a Kenya-based company called Sama." They say that sensitive and personal footage captured by the devices, including people going to the bathroom, getting dressed, and having sex, is being reviewed by contractors who see all of it uncensored. Well, what could possibly go wrong, y'all?
Yep. Well, he was actually going through the footage of this other TikToker who was wearing the glasses. And what this TikToker found was that as he was walking around, these glasses were facially recognizing random people on the streets. And within seconds, he had their addresses and where they worked. And so you hear him walking up to a woman and asking her, is she Betsy whatchamacallit? The reason he was able to do that is because the minute the glasses focused on this woman, her entire profile, her address and where she worked showed up within the glasses. And so that's who he knew who she was. That's how he knew who this woman was. And so that's the danger of this sort of surveillance state that we are living in. And let me just say this again. I think a lot of people misunderstand the opposition that a lot of people have to data centers. I think everybody knows that the internet works on data, has always run on data centers. But what the internet has not always run on is artificial intelligence that is designed to completely render humans irrelevant and insignificant, while at the same time poisoning our air and water and making life unbearable for the rest of us and taking up all the land, the important land in our society. Just think, everybody, we've all been on the internet for 30 years. They weren't building data centers all over Northwest Indiana 30 years ago. They weren't doing it 10 years ago. You would have some data centers here and there. But you certainly weren't paying the astronomical NIPSCO bills that you're currently paying because of these data centers. That is what people are opposing. They're not opposing, like we are. People have been watching YouTube for 20, 25 years now. YouTube's been around. Facebook's been around. Google's been around. And yet they magically didn't need 175,000 data centers all over the place in order to exist. What people are opposed to is this next phase of the process, which is where we're at now, which is mass surveillance. This is why they need those huge data centers. Do not make them believe, do not let them tell you that they have these data centers. These data centers because you want to watch cat videos on YouTube. That is not what this is about. This is not about you watching cat videos. This is not about you emailing somebody. This is not about you posting on Twitter. You've been on Twitter for 15 years, 10, 15 years. You've been on Facebook 10, 15, 20 years. Were you paying exorbitant NIPSCO utility bill rates 15, 20 years ago? No. Was your air and water being poisoned by excessive data centers 15, 20 years ago? No. Because this is a new phase. This is what all these new data centers is about. It's about mass surveillance. It is about keeping a tab on everything people do and making it impossible to rise up against the people who control this. This is why Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Larry Ellison and all these other people have gotten behind this so hard, because they know that this is endgame. This is checkmate. They will have every facet of our lives surveilled, and it will be impossible for us to rise up against them and do anything about it when they destroy our air, our water, our food. This, I just said a few minutes ago, we're in the era of what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I just sent Miss McCready a video a few weeks ago of this group of people who defeated a data center from being built in, I believe it was Arizona. And they organized and they actually were able to do it. But a lot of the elites have convinced the rest of you that, oh, you like YouTube. You watch YouTube, don't you? This is why we have to build 15,000 more new data centers. We watched YouTube 20 years ago. We watched YouTube 10 years ago. NIPSCO bills weren't what they were, what they are now 10 years ago because we watched YouTube. No, this is about, once again, using AI to replace human beings in every facet of our society, and it's about mass surveillance to stop us from doing a damn thing about it. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? All right, folks, this has been a very serious first half of the show. It is 7:07 in the p.m., so you know what time it is. It's time for some happy happies. Stay with us here on Straight Outta Cannon with me, Scott Cannon. We'll be right back after these.